wanted to talk some more about Boster Supply Company and the lady that hired me, Miss Patterson, Miss Margaret Patterson. Um, she she hired me in 1975, around July, and she was an influence, and she was really good to me when I was working there. I got paid. I said in a previous video, I got hired at $3 an hour, which was actually a decent pay back then because the hourly rate, the minimum wage was like $2.10 an hour, I believe, at the time. So anyway, we had a Burroughs bookkeeping machine, and it was quite old. It was probably from the 50s, and it got refurbished, and so and I think they bought it not long. Refurbished not long before I started working there. So, and the thing was like a giant typewriter, and it would like cling. You'd put the sheet in, and then you'd put like a ledger card in, and then do something. That's you punch the buttons and so on, and then it would go cling, cling. It was like this giant typewriter, and it was scary. Juanita DeGrew was who was the admin person. She worked on it once in a while, like once a week, and she was afraid of the thing because of the noises and so on. It was so abrupt in its movement. Anyway, Miss Patterson, she one of the things I remember about her, she would sit there and on her desk, and it's kind of funny the odd little things that you remember, many years later. And she was, she'd be looking at something, and she'd go, "Let me see, let me see, let me see." She'd do it on her desk. "Let me see, let me see, let me see." And she was stricken. She had some kind of debilitating um, problem with her. I don't know what the name of it was, but she walked with a cane. When I started working there, I'm bad with ages, especially when you're not that young. Everybody over 40 looks old. But I believe she was probably 60 plus, and she had walked with a cane, and she had like a hump on her back, and so I don't know what disease she had. She was probably born with it, but she worked all of her adult life, and very sadly she passed away when I was still working there. She actually before she passed away, she had wanted to retire at some point, and she actually she went she cut back, and she was working part-time. I can't remember if it was 2 days a week or 3 days a week. So she was spending more time at home. I know she had a dog at her home, and she never got to quite completely retire. But she it's like she would work because she'd worked all her whole life. But anyway, she passed away in 1978, sadly, and probably around 6 months or so before I left the company, because things started changing. When she went to part-time, I actually took on some of her responsibilities. Some of them were like, there were a couple things that I think that maybe their CPA, their outside accountant did, but I did probably a lot of the work that I took it over. It's like it was, I'm smart, so I was able to I had training in accounting and stuff, so I picked it up pretty quickly. And she didn't, like I said, she didn't get to, sadly, she did not get to retire, but she passed away. I did not get to go to her funeral. I really don't like funerals. I do go to them, because it's a good thing to do for support the family. I think she never got married, and she didn't have any kids. I think she had like a nephew or so that took over her, whatever her estate was, her home and everything. But I never got to meet him. But the day of the funerals, we had to have some kind of skeleton crew at the company. So it was myself, and I think it was one of the order takers, Russ, that was stayed there. And then after she died, I may have taken on another responsibility or two, and maybe the CPA firm or whatever may have taken up the rest of it. And then I just wanted to dedicate this video to her because she was such a good person, and she was an influence on my life, and she was always very good to me. She always gave me raises. even though I never had to ask for a raise. She would always give me a raise, and I think that's it about, it's like I can't think of anything else. It's just that she was an influence, and I've been trying to find information on her through Ancestry.com and find it great, but I haven't been able to find any other information about her. So anyway, thanks for watching, and that was Boster Supply Company. And let's see if this thing works.